in the ear canal. So when the air pressure is equal either side of the eardrum, that's when you hear optimally, that's when the eardrum vibrates the most. And so this patient doesn't need any onwards referral, it's just their eardrum, it's just congenital, this is the way it looks for them. However, because it had that retracted appearance, you'll see the top, there's some soft wax there now. I normally wouldn't remove that because it is literally staining almost. But in this case, I just wanted to make sure there's no retraction pocket at the top of the eardrum, the attic region or the posterior superior quadrant. So you'll see it in a moment, me removing it. So I just want to see what's behind that. I've had instances in the past where I removed some innocuous looking piece of wax and behind that there was infection, cholesteatoma more specifically. So you can see I'm just approaching this, we've got to be really careful because we are right next to the hammer bone, the short process. That bulb was that round sphere just southeast of the suction probe. That's the bone of the hammer bone, that's the top part. And I just removed enough just to reveal that there's no retraction pocket, there's no skin ingressing. There's a bit of soft wax around the periphery and the medial part of the ear canal near the eardrum. That's fine, that's staining. I tried hovering over it to see if it comes away, but it was stuck, it was wet. We don't want to try and remove that, guys, because to do that, it's not going to help the patient. And in fact, we might well graze the ear canal, cause an infection, and we're making matters worse. So you've got to know when to quick wash your head sometimes. Now, if there's a bit of wax on the side and I hover over and there's no risk, I will try and remove it. But the purpose of earwax removal is not to remove every little aspect of wax. A bit of wax is good for you. I've got wax in my ear. In fact, I'll try and take a photo tomorrow or later on in the week, and I'll upload it on one of the videos. I'll put it as a still, and you'll see that I've got a bit of wax, and a bit of wax is good for you. Earwax is acidic. That's because the oils and sweats that are secreted within the ear that are two of the core ingredients of earwax alongside dead skin cells. They are oily by nature, and the oil, the acidity in the oil and the fatty acids, they help to inhibit harmful bacterial and fungal growth. Wax is also oily, so it's greasy. It helps to lubricate the skin, so it prevents water that may enter the ear being absorbed by the skin cells, because it provides this hydrophobic layer veneer, and it also helps the skin cells retain its own natural moisture. Otherwise, without the oily veneer, fluid within the skin cells will rise to the or actually in between the skin cells as well. It'll rise to the surface and it'll evaporate. So oil helps to retain internal moisture and repels external moisture. And finally, earwax is sticky, so any foreign particles, dust will stick to the wax if they enter the ear, and for the majority of the population, earwax comes out naturally. It's a conveyor belt. The skin that lines the ear canal, as it dies, as it sheds, it just moves sideways out of the ear, exactly like a conveyor belt. Same constant cycle, and wax sitting on the surface of the skin cells will also be transported out of the ear. Oops, I forgot to edit this bit. I just came out and I just wiped the lens. The suction tube was blocked as well, so I was just unblocking it. We can see in the distance, you can peek through the wax on the top right. Let's just see the eardrum there. And again, I'm just trying to manipulate this out of the ear. It's quite sticky, so with this type of wax, because it's soft, mushy, sticky, you just got to kiss the surface. You apply too much pressure, you'll just indent into the wax, potentially push it further in, and you'll just block the suction probe continuously. So you just want to kiss the surface. That's the back part of the